Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Deeply Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deeply Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 427. Today is Sunday, October 23rd, 2022, and I'm glad you could join me today. It is a beautiful sunny day. I hope to get out in it soon. But yeah, it's been a while, friends. I think what it boiled down to was I needed to record, what would it be, at the beginning of the month and did not. And so it has been, time's passed. It doesn't feel like much has changed, but time has passed. But due to shenanigans afoot, what would it be? We'll see if I'm in Vietnam next week. I really hope so. I will not be recording from Vietnam. So, would it be? But a lot has happened. Would it be? I was supposed to be in Vietnam last week, which is why the in-laws were in town to help with the Bambino. But I did not get my visa in time, and so that meant that would it be? They extended their trip to help out, so it just ended up being gifts for a very long period of time. And then I don't think I ended up recording after. I didn't record after I ended up going to Lambtown. So there are staff musicians to show as well. So that's sort of the rough outline of the episode today, which is maybe I needed to record earlier, but life happened. So, but on the knitting front, not much has actually changed. So I am still primarily working on my hip strings brioche shawl. This is a project that I started before SSK. It looks like it's not gonna go on for too much longer. Just because I'm beginning to see the end of a ball of yarn. So this is my Greenwood Fiberworks, I believe llama silk because of the guard hairs. And I am almost done with this particular ball of yarn. It is very close. So I will have to sit and think for a moment, or would it be? I probably should have waited after I did a repeat and waited again afterwards, but would it be? It's also so hilarious if I haven't been using this computer much, so that's it. So I don't know. It's hard to tell if I'll be able to get one more repeat in or not. So we shall see. It's possible. I'm right now. Well, we'll see. Probably should have waited. Like the last color is blue, so how could I not? And while I have a repeat, so we're almost to the end of that fall. We still have quite a sizable cake left with some yarn barf going on. Of the hip strings component of it, and this is sort of a mostly merino silk blend. So I believe the consensus when I asked my knit night friends about how to proceed was when I stop doing the pattern I am, or that I should stop doing the pattern I am doing when I run out of the dark yarn, and then I should begin a new pattern when I run out, and I should just work it as single color brioche for the final conclusion. So the very edge of the shawl will be the blue and purple, which I think should be lovely. And I actually had the Nancy Marchand book open so I could figure out what pattern made sense to do. I don't know where to be. I did see one of them. It's actually, I think, on one of the pages that has like some of the components of the chart that I'm working now. Bambino's like tap tap tower. Had the long nap for the day, so that's good. So could it be? So it'd be the case where I think that might be like a pretty nice transition. I think roughly speaking, what it boils down to execution wise is that yeah, actually I'm not sure. Like I have a guess, but I think I'm wrong. What I think it boils down to is that you end up just sort of like skipping. So you have one repeat of the pattern that I'm working right now, and then just play knitting on the other one. And so then that creates the cool shape. That's my hypothesis. Where to be? Like there's so much play to be had. In terms of where to be. So it'd be the case, and like I think Nancy chats about this in the book as well, is I was like, it could really change the look of the thing if you have more plain rows before the pattern rows, or you have what it be? You could probably more plain rows between the pattern rows, or you have a block that's, or what it be? You have alternating blocks of that and all of that fun stuff. So, and honestly, like on a great big giant shawl like this, you sort of have the canvas to play with that a little bit more, I think. So it'll be interesting to see. But I haven't yet found the corresponding chart, so it is still a little bit mysterious to me. But and of course I'm in the middle of the row. I did finish. I did finish a row, then I decided, oh, I have time for didn't have time. Not even didn't have. So that is right there. And honestly, when you think about it, like this one does feel like a design to me. I don't know whether or not I can get myself over the hump of all of the paperwork and administration necessary to turn this into pattern, but it's definitely design. It is definitely an original design for me, so that's cool. Would it be? And it's really lovely how it's all turning out, so that's exciting too. we'll get the center spine somewhat going here. So it is cool. And then the center spine does look a little bit different because you're sort of transitioning. Or would it be because it didn't necessarily have graceful transitions, I guess. You try to be as graceful as you can. It also maybe also feels like maybe like the caps are just like a little bit weird in places. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not gonna worry too much. I've tried to make it work as best I can. So, so that story there, that has received most of my love and care and attention this past month. And then maybe just like reflection of how things are going on. Like in this episode, also in the middle of a road here, too. But I guess I'm also to the halfway mark here as well. So gorgeous. Very gorgeous indeed. But I'm pretty sure at this point I'm not gonna actually be able to finish the row that I'm on, because I'm like, I think I'm to the stage now where it's like 60 some beads per row when I'm doing a bead row, and I am doing a bead row, and I put on all the beads that I could with my crochet hook, and now I just have, this is how many beads I have left. I did try to look and see if there was like a good match for beads when I was at Lambtown, and so Bead Biz was there, and we did talk for a while about it, and they handed me the string of beads, and I'm like, something seems weird, and then asked, and they were Czech beads instead of Japanese beads, and I don't have anything against the Czech beads. It's just, but changing from one to the other in the middle of the project was sort of where it wasn't cool to me. Because the Czech beads are not sort of like as square and perfect as the Japanese ones are. So you tend to have a lot more duds, like beads that aren't actually beads in the Czech beads, and then their shape isn't as nice. So what that meant for this was that I did not end up picking up beads from them. The other thing was, it was maybe a little bit like, because I knew I needed a lot of beads, but I still haven't finished that calculation. Oh dear. But yeah, no, I just barely got past the halfway point on this one. So I don't even remember what repeat I've left off on. Like that's sort of where we are right now. For such is life. So the saga continues. I should place an order for beads, because I think that's the only way that I'm going to get what I want. And maybe it's the case where if I finish this row, or it doesn't seem promising for finishing the row, but maybe I'm mistaking how many beads per row I'm using, and it'll be fine, but I'm not sure. It's probably like sitting down, weighing, figuring out how far along I am, figuring out if I'm okay with that. And I think I still want to take the maximalist route, but also I think it's also the case where like my yarn usage calculation might be a little bit off too. So I maybe do need to take a pause and work through each line of the chart, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Work through each line of the chart. Make sure that I sort of have my repeats and stitch counts right. And go from there. Yeah. So this is 30 some beads and at least 30 some beads, and I have 14, 13 remaining, so I'm not finishing this row. But Scheherazade and Victoria, it did get a little bit of love in the past month, but just a little. Whatever, such is life. Like, even Sundays. Interesting. I'm just like looking at the shawl trying to figure out whether or not my center spine design makes any sense, but it's fine, whatever. So, should I order them now? Yes. Maybe when I'm done with this episode, I just need to do it, because I do want the finished object. So that's where we're at. So other irritations. That's all the knitting. Didn't really do any spinning at all this month. I may be in danger of failing at my swim knitting. I guess we should see. So this has been sitting in my wrong side. My U.S. mail bin. And it's whatever the final 80% of the spinning project. But I pulled it out. I think I'm going to proceed in a fractal manner with these remaining things. And part of that I think is just to like mix things up, basically. Poor Bambino. So proceeding in a fractal manner, so I'm gonna break these guys in half, mix them all up, and then spin them as they come. And part of that is just to create a very interesting and dimensional yarn. I think that this is going to, I think this is going to be like my last sample before I get serious about my Rhinebeck fleece, which is sitting on the bed because normally it lives on top of the mail thing. So that was the story there. I still like that plan. I think I'm gonna make it happen. But yeah, no, I haven't it was the case where trying to keep like the pathways in the house clean, so it was the case where it was like, okay, I'm just gonna keep the spinning wheel in the bedroom and would it be, and that just nothing got done on the spinning projects. And even when I felt like spinning, the fiber wasn't here and my in-laws were in here, so I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's fine. So but it was the case where, sorry, yeah, that was, but in spinning news, like there's definitely like a pretty good variety of things going on at the moment. And so when I was hanging out with people at Lambtown, it turned out that people who rode the bus to Lambtown, they had like a bus that went from Oakland and San Francisco to Lambtown, and a variety of vendors provided samples and goodies for people who rode the bus. And some of those people who rode the bus were not spinners, so because it was sort of like the mutual knowing each other dealio. So what I have in my hand right now is a bag or whatever, like I think it's like a half-ounce sample of clean merino. And let's see if we can't get it to look right on the camera, aside from just a mysterious white mass of nothingness. There we go. So this is clean merino. Oh, and the bus was called Wool on Wheels. I was contemplating doing the bus, but I had friends who were going to drive, so it just seemed it seemed better to do it that way. And this is dirty merino. I really need to watch this. This is really gorgeous. But basically, I ended up getting the dirty merino because one of the people I was carpooling with was watching people spin, and they're like, "Hey, you want some?" And she didn't say no. And then she came to me and was like, "I know you spin. Do you want some?" And it's like, okay, fine. So what would it be? But it just ends up making such an interesting. I have to get the way close enough. It's so white. So this was free stuff that I got from my Lambtown adventure. I don't know, hopefully that's not the poopy bits. Whatever. And then I did end up purchasing two things when I was there. And I didn't repeat. One of them was planned, one of them had been on the list, but wasn't 100% sure. So the first thing that I bought were stickers, and I'm gonna put these stickers on my work laptop. But this is artwork by Dawn Catherine Studios, and Dawn is a part of my Berkeley knitting group. And this guy right here is the yarn chicken calculation, and very apt for our discussion that we were having earlier. This yarn chicken sticker is a direct. This is me. So I knew I had to. I had to get it. And the other ones are going to be like they're not necessarily whatever the different philosophies of yarn chicken, because the other whatever, but the the quantitative yarn chicken is totally me. So that is the story there. I had to get that. The other one was so when I first came to California, like or to be when I moved to California, Stitches West was very shortly after I had arrived. It was the case where I volunteered to help set up the Black Squirrel booth. Ended up getting this lovely bag as compensation. But Stitches West is much more of like a yarn event than it is like a fiber arts event. Like there's definitely spinning content there, but Yarntown or whatever Lambtown is what would it be? They have a very strong spinning fiber bent to them. So it's the case where they have a fleece show. They're selling rams and ewes. There's the sheep shearing and the sheepdog trials, and so it's the case where it's probably one of the better events in California to go shopping for a fleece. What's hilarious though is like the fleece I ended up getting was actually from Wyoming. So, and to save myself pain and trouble, it is a clean fleece. So what we have here is my own California variegated mutant fleece, all clean, all ready to go. Probably ended up paying like per 4 ounces much closer to what I would buy for dyed fiber, but I also understand that these fleeces are worth more than that, if that makes any sense. So but my jaw dropped when I heard the price. We negotiated. So what would it be? So this is a lovely variegated fleece with I don't know, like I don't know if you've noticed this about me before, but I am not what would it be? Like I can pass on the brown and the gold, but I have a hard time passing on the silver, if that makes sense. So now I'm trying to extract this. Let's see something. Maybe, here we go. It takes a little bit in order to get the tie off of this guy. So this is going to be so much fun to dye. So it's very, very soft, very lovely. And I just sort of picked out of the bag sort of the 3 different tones that are throughout it. So sort of a darker gray, a medium gray, and a white. And this, of course, is very similar to what I ended up pulling when it would be with like my second place, I think. Without the pain. Um, would it be? It has sort of a medium sort of wavy crimp. Sort of has like a medium wave and then sort of a tighter crimp within it, which is lovely. But like a little bit of bleaching on the tips, but not too crazy. So lovely. And it still has like maybe just like a little hint of lanolin in it still. Or maybe I'm smelling my hands from after touching the merino, because that merino was also, or the merino is definitely dirty. So, but it's very lovely. So, the game plan here is probably to dye a solid color and end up having it be all mixed up. And it may be the case where I just need to sit down and figure out how much I would need for a given project, because since it is clean, you don't have to really account for like loss and that sort of thing. So that guy was a big boy. I don't know. It could have been a girl. That information is missing. But I had been intending to get a California variegated fugit while I was in California. There was also a very gorgeous, I think it was like a CBN BFL Wensleydale cross. But I decided to just get the pure CVM, see how you feel, see how you like it, that sort of thing. And I am not displeased. Interestingly, there really wasn't much CVM that was in like the flea show itself. I did look around. I had a specific goal. I was not going to get something random, but yeah. So I didn't walk in knowing that I was going to buy a fleece, but when I saw that Clemens and Clemens had that, it was like, so it's fine. Load me. And that was the case where got to have my lamb barbecue and see a sheep get shaved and would it be the other lovely sort of things. It's definitely a pretty small festival. It's definitely one where you can totally make a day of it. You do not need to make 2 days of it. If that makes sense. So would it be? And it was definitely, or would it be? It was the case where I feel like they had like a pretty good mix of fiber arts there. So there was actually like a lot of stuff for weaving. Would it be? Variety of like natural dyers, indie dyers, fiber, indie natural dyers. See. So I felt like there was a pretty good mix of stuff, which was good. But yeah, now I just have to like laugh at myself like a little bit. So I probably should get for serious about my Romney. Which probably means I need to finish thinning the sample in the whole bit. So in other exciting news, my friend Debbie, who is a friend of Sock Knitter's friend, and would be someone that I've had the chance to hang out with IRL, ended up sending a sweater. And I can totally empathize with her. sometimes just getting the stupid thing nailed is the hardest part. But she sent an 18-month size sweater for Mr. Daniel, so, and just has like this very nice little texture pattern, and then super wide neck. Definitely style-wise, gives me plaques and weekender vibes for sure with this neckline. Honestly, looking at the construction of it, it probably would be was made in that way, so no big deal. So yeah, I need to let her know that it did arrive and it is lovely. So that was very, very exciting. It is probably the case where this weekend I need to go through the clothing and sort out too small and add in the stuff that had been too big and that sort of stuff. It's definitely been a little in this past month. He's figured out creeping. Probably it's not quite crawling, but it's awfully close. Cut 2 teeth, which was slightly awkward because that just meant that he was a grumpy-puss for most of the time that whatever the in-laws were here. And then would it be like very solidly in solid foods, and now in the stage of like chunky foods. So it felt like it felt like this past month has been lots of changes pretty quickly, and maybe we're not 100% prepared. So it was one thing when he was like rolling and you're like, like we need to watch this much more closely too. Like, would it be? There was one day where I'd gotten off work, and so I went into the living room, which is where we have like the play area set up, and he very eagerly came straight to me and was so excited to see me. I was like, you choose me! Man, that Bambino was very excited that I was ready to play. So, recipe. So it'll be very interesting how everything comes down, but it felt like whereas previously like things were like slow and gradual and you could keep up, it feels a little bit like this last month was like, whew. Like, this is moving swiftly now. So whatever, such is life. So lots of excitement all around, but would it be not too crazy here. The sun is hitting in such a way that like all of the dust on my computer screen is there's no dust on my webcam, so that should be fine. Oh well, we'll get it all figured in the end. But yeah, the only question that I think I need to be a realist and be like, I'm probably not gonna cast anything on. That my current project is, in fact, my current main project is still plenty of knitting to get me through a lot of nonsense. But yeah, I guess that, whatever. It's just interesting to ponder. What I'm not sure about is what that's fine. It's like thinking about starting a travel spinning project, but I was like, I don't know. Outlook is still unclear. gonna have to get a lot of help this week. So we'll see how all of that shakes down. What it would be, but also it's just is the case where whatever, since we're near the end of October, is the case where you're sort of in like the intense plan part of the year. So it's the case of like, okay, what are the Thanksgiving plans? What are the Christmas plans? Work travel, which what would it be? The chain of custody of the Bambino, making sure there's an adult around at all times. What would it be? So these things have made like more complicated, but I think we knew that was going to be the case going in. So whatever. We'll hopefully get it. So we shall see what it be. If everything goes terribly, I might record next week. If I don't record next week, hopefully it was because I was successful. Yeah, and so onward to the other things that need to happen on Sunday, like cooking food for the entire week and grocery shopping and enjoying some of the beautiful sunshine. We finally have the beautiful October weather, which basically boils down to it's clean and sunny, but not too hot. So I'm gonna get me some of that. I'm excited about that. So with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So take care, guys. Bye bye.